you ready for the top five movies of 1976?
I guess, yeah.
All right. Another good year for one of the best decades of film, probably. And
Yeah, there was like a lot of movies.
yeah,
And I don't, and because of that, I don't know like how many we're going to be agreeing on.
yeah,
But
this will be an interesting one.
yeah, this will be an interesting one.
We might have a couple because I didn't really see that many movies from that year, but there's definitely some good ones, some unusual ones too. So I'll start us off. So my number five is The Song Remains the Same, the Led Zeppelin concert film slash, well, not really documentary. It's really more of a concert film, I guess. But I know you're probably going to say that shouldn't count. But it has like most of it is concert footage, but then you also have these cinematic parts with like Robert Plant with a sword, like out in the wilderness, and like John Bonham racing a car, and a lot of it really makes no sense whatsoever. But it was cool, man. At the time, Zeppelin, one of my favorite bands ever, and I mean the iconic Stairway to Heaven, their performance of that, where Robert Plant says, does anyone remember laughter? And like, it's, I mean, one of the best concert films ever, probably. I'd have it in my top 10 for sure. So there you go.
Okay.
So what's your number five?
My number five, keeping with the holiday spirit,
Yeah.
The Omen,
Oh, okay. All
Richard
right.
Donner.
Yeah. Cool. I never saw it, but
I know that
that's
this movie spawned a lot of uh, other films that either copied it or sequels.
yeah,
And
yeah.
of course, now you have a possessed child,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Right.
where in The Exorcist, the child, was older.
Right.
The
Yeah.
girl was older and stuff. This is like a little kid.
The Exorcist, didn't that come out around the same time,
No, I think
or that was earlier, right?
yeah, I think it was earlier 70s.
Oh, okay, okay. That's why we didn't talk about it because there were so many that we grouped in to the first 5 years.
Yeah, and
But
actually it was when we did it, The Exorcist was on my
honorable mentions, yeah.
honorable mention list. Yeah,
Okay, cool. Yeah, good pick.
yeah.
So, my number four is All the President's Men. The
Really?
yeah.
I have that, but it's higher.
Oh, okay.
I was just impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I hadn't seen it until pretty recently because I knew we were going to get to 1976, and I hadn't seen that many movies from that year. And I was like, oh, I never saw this. I need to check it out. And it
yeah,
seemed kind of timely, too, with all the things going on politically right now. But,
right. The thing that fried another Republican president.
right. Yep. So yeah, Dustin Hoffman and your guy Robert Redford,
Yeah, right, right. Good old
in
Hartford.
yep, playing
No
real
Paul,
actual roles. What's that?
no Paul Newman in this one.
Oh yeah, yeah. But yeah, Hoffman plays what's his name, Bob Woodward, who's
Yeah,
back in the news again. And yeah, they did great in the movie. They had really good chemistry, and of course the takedown of Nixon, man, with Deep Throat and all that stuff. I mean, it gives you a little bit more insight if for people who don't know the full story of that scandal.
yeah. I
But
would think that like everybody knows it now, except
right,
maybe the younger generation.
yeah,
Like the kids just growing up now and stuff like that, unless they had it in history class.
right, yeah.
I mean, this was the thing that put the nail in the coffin for the Nixon administration.
Yep. Yeah, and
Uh,
I mean, it's actually even more impressive now when you look back at like, how they did things back then with payphones and stuff and like, these secret meetings in parking garages and
yeah, I know. I
you
think,
know,
like even like when you watch older movies when they had cellular phones and there were these big boxes, you
yeah,
know, yeah, yeah,
right,
rather these little things that we have now.
right.
And yeah,
Yeah,
it's like weird, watching, yeah, they go to make a call in a
right.
payphone, like you said.
Yeah. Crazy, man.
Yeah,
So cool. Okay, so we got one in common already. So what's your number four?
number four is Rocky.
Ah, okay. I have that one higher on mine.
Yeah, Sylvester
So
Stallone.
yeah. Adrian.
Adrian.
It's classic just for that, man.
Yeah,
But I
I
mean,
mean,
so many iconic scenes like him running up the stairs
yeah,
in
and
Pennsylvania.
and pounding the beef in
Right,
the in the his friend's butcher shop
right.
or
Yeah,
Louis, I can't remember, but
yeah.
yeah,
Drinking
yeah,
raw eggs and all that.
right. And the fight scenes were like amazing.
Yeah,
And this was like the beginning of all these fight scene movies that have come after, including all the Rocky sequels.
right. Yeah, of course. And pretty
Yeah,
amazing the backstory that, Stallone created this thing and he wanted creative control over it. And, so many people turned him down, but he ended up with the control of and playing the character like, he didn't want anyone else to play Rocky.
yeah. I
And
mean, this was his launching movie because
right,
he really wasn't in any other movies.
right.
He had like bit parts.
Yep,
He never had a starring role, I don't
yep,
believe, until this movie.
yeah,
So, like, he created himself,
exactly.
and he became a big star, like
Yeah,
all action movies, obviously. I don't
yeah, of
remember
course.
anything that was non-action.
Right. Yeah, not so much. But yeah,
Some
his
movies, some of them were horribly bad.
right, of course. But
Yeah,
no, his acting was perfect for this because I mean, he played someone who was an underdog both in boxing and, academically as well. But yeah, his the chemistry with him and Adrian is great. The Paulie character is
yeah,
really good. The coach, that character is awesome as well. And Apollo Creed, which spawned a whole other series now, the son of
that's
Creed.
right.
So yeah, absolute classic. Got to have it on your list, man. So so we're at number three now. What's your three?
I lost count because I didn't put numbers on. Okay, yeah, Rocky was my number four. You said that was your number three. All
That
the
was my number two actually. So it's higher on my list. So now
oh, okay.
we're at
So
three.
my number three is All the President's Men.
Ah, okay, gotcha. Very good. Man, this is going to be confusing to put together when we get to the end. Okay, so my number three is Carrie. Two episodes in a row for Carrie, baby. Another movie that I hadn't seen, and I saw it finally not too long ago. So I guess because it was fresh in my mind, and I was really impressed with it. But obviously, I talked about this on the last episode where we did Stephen King adaptations. I had also read the book on this, so that impressed me even more that De Palma stayed true to the book for the most part and really kind of got inside the mind of Carrie. They also made I guess, a newer version of this, but I think the original was probably better. Sissy Spacek was great. And I failed to mention last week that John Travolta was in this movie. One of his early roles, he was more of a side role as one of the other teenagers that was not so nice. And I think he had some. I can't remember what his line was, but he was the one that ends up killing the pig to get the pig blood. And he says something like, "Here, little piggy," or something weird. So, but yeah, so you didn't have Carrie on your list, right?
No, I did not have Carrie on my list.
Okay. You never go for duplicates anyway.
I tried not to. Sometimes it's very hard. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think we had Shawshank Redemption before, other than last week and stuff like that. So,
right. Yeah.
and the other one, The Shining, like 4 times. So
It's mentioned in almost every episode.
yeah, sometimes it can't be helped.
Yes, of course. All right. So what's your number two?
My number two is Network.
Ah, yeah. This is a movie that I still haven't seen, but I want to see it.
Yeah, it's a movie that I saw when it first came out.
Yeah.
And I remember it was a big movie. I don't remember like too many things about the movie. I just remember that the Peter Finch character
Yeah.
was this was a TV network. His show was like getting bad reviews and stuff like that.
Right.
So he even like threatened that he was going to commit suicide. I
Yeah.
can't remember if it was on the air or off the air or whatever.
Right.
Trying to beef up the ratings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then
Is it his character that has the famous line, "I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore"?
Yeah, I was just going to tell you that.
Yeah.
He told everybody to go open their windows
Yes.
and stick their heads out
Right.
and yell that line.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen that scene.
Yeah.
And then people actually did it, right?
Yeah, and people actually did it. It was like the classic scene. It was like, throughout the city, it's like people are out there,
Yeah, that's great. Isn't Faye Dunaway in that movie also?
Yeah, Faye Dunaway's in that movie too.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, she's been in a couple of classics too. That might come up in later 70 movies.
Sure. Okay. I'm curious. We may end up having the same number one, I hope, but we'll see. My number two was the aforementioned Rocky.
Okay.
So let's see. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Taxi Driver.
No, it's not my number one.
Ah,
I'm
really?
I'm teasing you.
Oh, it is Taxi Driver. Okay. I was gonna say, man, come on. Classic De Niro.
I know.
Are you talking to me?
And again, Taxi appears in another top 5.
Yes. Scorsese. I don't even think this made my top 5 Scorsese list. That's how good he is.
I know, but I thought Taxi was in there. Maybe it wasn't.
No, I think it didn't make our combined list, but
Okay.
it's definitely one of Scorsese's best, and probably the one that really jump-started his career. Even though he'd already done Mean Streets, this was like the big one that got him nominated. And De Niro, of course, I believe he was nominated too. I mean, his performance in this is like, there was nothing else like it, I think, at that point, where he plays this guy who's just a little bit off. A
little bit?
Well, he gets a little more off as the movie goes.
Yeah.
But like where it starts out, where you're not sure what to make of him. As this guy who loves being a taxi driver, and then he's hitting on Sybil Shepherd, but it's like awkward and weird, and then he just starts losing his mind even more as the movie goes, to where he's gonna like take out the president and like shaves his hair into a mohawk. And but then he has this relationship with the young Jodie Foster, who plays this underage prostitute that he wants to like take care of and protect her. So it's like this duel of this crazy guy who has good intentions, but and then he ends up, being somewhat of a heroic figure at the end, where it could have gone the other way.
And of
So
course, the most famous line from that movie.
yeah, are you
You
talking to
talking to
me?
me?
Exactly. Yeah, that scene in the mirror, which I supposedly was like improvised. I mean, Scorsese told De Niro to like say some stuff to himself in the mirror, but I think De Niro came up with that. So yeah, classic, man. And Scorsese's in the movie too, playing like a crazy guy in the backseat of the taxi. That's a memorable scene. Peter Boyle is in the movie as well as one of the other taxi drivers. And what's his name? Harvey Keitel as the pimp was great in the movie as well. So, yeah, one of
Yeah,
the all-time greats.
definitely deserves the number one ranking.
So obviously that is our combined number one. So now let's figure this out. So I had Rocky at 2, and you also had it. So I think that should probably be 2. You had it
Okay.
as your 4. And
Yeah,
then I didn't have Network, but we both had All the President's Men. Should that
right.
be our 3?
Uh, yeah, that was my, what was
That
it?
was your 3.
Right, and what was it?
It was my 4. So
So
I
that's
think
so
that's
that's
our only
a,
other one in common.
so that's a 7. What was the other two that we had in common?
Uh, Rocky and Taxi Driver. So we got our 3 in common as our top 3.
Okay.
And then we'll put Network at 4 because that was your number 2. This is pretty easy. I don't even have to do letterbox on this episode. And then Carrie was my 3, so she'll make it at 5.
You got
Yeah.
Carrie in there again.
Yeah. Well, Carrie didn't make our combined Stephen King list, so
Okay. Well, that's
now
because
she
there's
made
so
the
many other
list.
good movies.
Yep.
There was a lot of good movies here too. But
You got any other honorable mentions before we read it off?
let me just see. Probably. Oh wow, I didn't do honorable mentions in that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. This is our first episode without honorable mentions. Oh man. Well, cool.
There wasn't that many really good movies. I mean,
Yeah,
Taxi Driver and Rocky were like the two
the
biggest,
standouts.
and then Network was up there,
Right.
and All the President's Men was the other biggie. So I mean, we hit all the biggies.
Yeah, I think 75 was a stronger year all around. And I think when we get to 77, that was another really strong year too. But yeah, so let's read off the official list. The top 5 movies of 1976. At number 5, Carrie. At number 4, Network. At number 3, All the President's Men. At number 2, Rocky. And at number 1, Taxi Driver. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I like it. So do you want to go straight into 77 next week?
Yeah,
Or
I think that was like the next one on our list.
yeah. That way we'll get the 70s knocked out hopefully by the end of the year. And yeah, I don't think there was anything else special happening in the next few weeks movie wise. I mean, movie releases are so bizarre right now, all over the place.
Because of the COVID thing. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple of 2020s that are out only because they're either made by Amazon or they're made by Netflix.
Yeah.
So, like, their movies are out. but all the major uh, movie companies are holding theirs back.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
like when this thing is over, if
Right.
it's
Like we
ever
were
over,
talking about doing James Bond in November, but that's getting pushed back again.
right?
So we
They're
may
all getting,
hold off.
yeah, they're all getting pushed back again.
Yeah.
Uh, and right now, things are spiking again.
Right. Yeah. I know that Coming to America sequel, I think that's set to still release in December, and it's going to be on one of the streaming platforms instead of movie theaters, obviously. But
Yeah,
so
that's
that
the other
we
thing.
can still do Eddie Murphy when we get to that one. That'll be good.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy movies would probably be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and now you keep getting more and more streaming services.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, most of them, yeah, they like have commercials and stuff. Even like AMDB has commercials and stuff. But I
Right.
mean, the movies that they're putting on are like, pretty good old ones and stuff. So
Sure.
I mean, yeah, like if you wanted to see, you know, an older movie, I mean, you pretty much can find it,
Yeah.
to watch it now.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah, you
sure.
just might have to put up with some commercials and stuff, but
Right.
for the
Yeah.
most part, unless you got like a pay service like Netflix or Amazon Prime.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
you got Tubi, you got Crackle,
There's so many. Yeah.
yeah, and there's
Ridiculous.
like new ones coming out. I don't even know what their names are. And
Right.
even Plex now
Hmm.
has their own movies on. Plus,
Right.
they even have live TV. A lot of these channels are putting live TV on. You got Roku doing the same thing.
Yeah. Right.
It's like crazy. So, like, the new movies now, I don't know. I don't know if people are really going to go back to movie theaters anymore. They're
That's,
used to streaming.
yeah, that's true. The more time goes on, yeah, people may get more and more
Yeah.
used to just not going.
I mean, they might
So,
have to, it'd be horrible for the movie theater business, but uh, they might have to, charge more for rentals or something.
yeah, well, they're already doing stuff where like you can rent out a movie theater to watch, I guess, whatever movie you want to see, even if it's older or something, and have parties of like socially distanced 20 people or something, and you pay like $100 or something crazy. So I don't know who's doing that, but
I don't know either.
that
Yeah, the thing is, uh, this might bring back drive-in movies.
yeah, yeah. Supposedly that's
Drive-in
happening
movies
some
were big like
places.
in the 50s and stuff,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
60s and 70s. This may bring them back.
Yeah,
I mean,
which that'd be cool. I've never done that actually. So
yeah,
that,
well, there may be a couple of places by you.
mhm.
Walmart is doing drive-in movies
Interesting.
in their parking lot. Yeah,
Walmart, the movies of the future.
yeah, they're not doing it by me in Delaware, obviously,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, but yeah, Walmart. There's certain Walmart locations that are doing. Yeah, they're doing old movies.
Right.
I see Ferris Bueller going around a lot. Actually,
Nice.
we have one of the our gaming places, bowling alleys.
Hmm.
Uh, they're doing drive-in movies in the parking lot, but they're only doing it like on weekends and stuff like that.
Right, right.
But yeah, so it's not just Walmart that's doing it. Other places are doing it too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
All
so
right. Well, sweet. Well, yeah. So next week, 1977. It's going to be a good one. Speaking of drive-in movies, there's one that would be perfect for that that I won't mention, but yeah, you know what it is. But
was that made in 1970? I know it's when you're talking about.
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know if it was made in 77 or not.
Yeah, I always remember 77 because there was such a huge debacle with that one and the Academy Awards, I believe.
I know.
on what.
77, that was the year before you were born.
That's right. Yeah. So yeah. So technically, I existed in '77.
That's right. You were just inside another person.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, Mom was saying recently that I think we were talking about Stevie Wonder, and she said that I probably, heard his music when I was in the womb quite a bit, like "Songs in the Key of Life," that album specifically.
See,
So,
you had a kinship
which,
there. Both
yeah,
of you were blind at that point.
right. Yeah, exactly. And hey, on the wall behind me, "Songs in the Key of Life." They're right there. Bam. One of my faves.
Okay, good.
So, speaking of which, I don't mention this a lot on this channel, but if you like these top fives, I do top fives of music every Friday, Top Five Friday. So check out Johnny Radio, where we're actually doing right now a top 100 albums of all time series that were voted by all the people watching. So far it's a pretty good list. So check that out and like, of course, and subscribe this channel, and we'll keep it going. So see you on the next one. Love you.
Love you too.
All right, bye.
Bye.